Hi, my name is Andrea Buckley, and I am a licensed mental health therapist in the state of Michigan. And welcome to the Connection Diaries. I'm so excited that you are here. We are in a new series called Healing Through the Holidays: The Art of Holding On and the Art of Letting Go. And so, if you go back, you can see episode 1 where I talk about all things grief. The holiday season has a way of bringing up grief in a way that maybe on other parts of the year it may be a little bit easier to ignore. I also think the winter season brings up grief in a way that's super unique than maybe other seasons. That's just my personal opinion. So if you haven't already, go back and watch that video. For episode number 2, we are going to be talking about the concept of honoring your natural cycles. And so as we get ready to close out the year and go into the new year, this is a natural point where a lot of people are thinking about what they want to accomplish in 2025 and what they have yet to accomplish in 2024, the current year right now. And so, what that does is sometimes it puts people in a space where they feel like they need to hyperfixate on goal setting. They need to set visions and create vision boards. And I'm not going to say that that is inherently bad, but you may notice that that goes against your natural rhythms when you think about where we are seasonally. So here in Michigan, it is cold. It's freezing. I don't know about you, but I had this debate on Facebook like, what do y'all have y'all heat on right now? Because I am freezing. And so I walked away with a lot of tips on, like, how to stay warm in the winter. But as you can tell, the season is getting colder. The sun is not staying out as long. And so the days are, feeling a little bit shorter or maybe even feeling a little bit longer when you think about coming into work, maybe when it's daylight or darkness, and then coming out when it's dark again. So this is having an impact on our bodies. I know it's having an impact on my body. There is this part of me that feels this need to be still, to rest, and to just allow this season to pass. And then there's this part of me that is like, no, we need to get this done and that done, and we need to prepare for 2024, and we want to make sure we accomplish this and that. This part of me that feels like I need to be quote unquote productive, right? And that makes sense because there has been years and years and years of me existing in a capitalist system where my worth has been tied to my productivity. And so it makes sense for me to wrestle with that and have to shed that belief year after year that I could be still, that I can rest, that I can use this time as a moment to reflect, as a moment to grow versus a moment to be super busy, right? With the holiday season, to engage in consumerism and feel like I have to be buying all the things, hosting all the things, seeing all the people. Even as I think that, I could feel the tension in my body. And so, as we go throughout this video and as you leave this video, I just want you to pay attention to how some of these concepts feel in your body. And I think that when we pay attention to our body, there's so much wisdom there, there's so much freedom there. But a lot of times, what happens is we're taught to ignore our body's cues and we're taught to ignore our body's natural rhythms. So, what I want you to think about as you watch this video is I want you to think about how internally you have a inner winter, an inner spring, an inner summer, and an inner fall. And so these particular cycles align with the actual seasons that we get to experience here in winter. So being in winter season, this is a season where we need to be in hibernation mode. I think sometimes we forget that we too are also animals. We're very intellectual animals, but we are also mammals. We're animals. And so we also need to go through our own hibernation. And that doesn't necessarily always look like, okay, I'm going to lock myself up in a room and go to sleep and not talk to anyone. It could, depending on what your lifestyle looks like. But it may mean I need to slow down, I need to rest more, and I need to do less. And your body may be calling you to do that. But again, you may feel this external or even internal pressure when you think about the standards you set for yourself to be doing more, to be going harder, to be, doing it bigger. And it's like, no, like, I need you to rest. I need you to slow down. I need you to listen to yourself to make sure that you are making moves that are in line with your authentic self, that are in line with the growth that you desire. And so my message for you today is to slow down, to rest, and to be still. And I'm also here to affirm that if your body is already telling you that and you already feel this fatigue, this exhaustion, that maybe that is okay. Maybe that's a signal that you need to slow down. And you may be saying to me, Drea, it's not like I can just stop going to work. It's not like I can just stop taking care of my kids. That's true. But what you can do is to do less. There may be some things that are on your plate that are technically optional, but they feel like obligations. And so, what does it look like to go back to what is on your plate and to take some things off? And sometimes that means like saying no after we said yes. What does it look like to take some things off our plate that genuinely are not bringing us joy in this season? And what does it look like to maybe take some things off our plate that are just tradition? Like, I'm used to doing this thing, so I feel like it just has to be that way this year. Guess what? You have choice. You have autonomy. You have freedom, which is one of my core values. So, what does that mean? That means that I don't have to do all the things if I don't want to do all the things. Now, that may come with some consequences, right? But I think the greatest consequence, the most important consequence, is that you get to live a life where you're centering your well being, that you're still centering your pleasure, that you're centering your joy. What would 2025 look like if that was your motto? If that was your go to slogan? I promise you, at the end of the year, if we could fast forward 1 year, life would look so much different. Because oftentimes in our life, we are taught to prioritize our suffering. We are taught to disconnect from our bodies. We're taught to push past our body's cues. And this video is an invitation to reevaluate that and to offer your body another narrative that says, like, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to honor when you need to slow down. I'm going to honor when you need rest. And that does not make you any less worthy. That does not make you any less valuable. That does not make you any less successful. And sometimes our inner child needs that reassurance. I know that felt good for my little baby, my little inner child, because like I said, there's a certain way we're conditioned, and then there's the reality of how our bodies show up in the world, right? Like, I might be in a time right now where I'm experiencing so much emotion, and maybe this is a time for me to feel those emotions. When I slow down, when I'm resting, when I'm being still, more emotions come to the surface. When I'm busy, when I'm hustling, when I'm grinding, I get to suppress those emotions and push past those emotions and ignore those emotions, and they become stuck emotion in my body. And that transforms itself as illness, as resentment, as stress, so many negative things that have negative implications for our physical, mental, and emotional health, right? And so this season may be time, if I could offer a second point, for you to feel more, for you to feel your feelings more, to allow more things to come to the surface. And that may be extremely uncomfortable. It will be. But what does it look like to hold yourself in the midst of that discomfort and to say, I got you? That I'm allow you to weep in this moment. Maybe play a sad song if that's your thing. Maybe journal, whatever your thing is. I know that for me, sometimes music helps me feel to get to a space where you're like, I'm gonna release. Like, I'm gonna allow myself to be sad. I'm gonna allow myself to shed during this season. And all of that is priming you for the next year. We think that we need to hustle more, grind more, buy more, do more to prep for the new year. But what if it looks like to be more, to rest more, to feel more, so that you can go into the new year feeling light, to feel like you've released what you needed to release, that you've confronted what you needed to confront, that you're no longer running from yourself, that you're being with yourself because you deserve that quality time. I know that's my love language, that you deserve quality time to be with yourself and to connect with yourself. And that may mean saying no. But when we say no, it makes space for an actual full body hell yes. So I want you to think about these concepts. As always, I'm going to have some journaling prompts at the end of this video so that you can dig a little bit deeper into this concept. I want you to think about, how can I invite more ease into my life during this season, especially this winter season, right? How can I slow down? How can I rest? How can I stop fighting my body's natural cycles, my body's natural needs? I spend a lot of time in therapy teaching people how to do that. Most of the time when people come to me, they feel like they shouldn't feel a way. And I would say almost 10 times out of 10, they should feel that way, that they have something in their life, whether it be presently or from their childhood, that is being triggered, that warrants that feeling. And so what does it look like to stop gaslighting ourselves and to just give ourselves space to be in the moment and to allow whatever to come up to the surface? That's the greatest act of self-love that I think that you can give yourself during this season. And I'm preaching to myself too, don't worry, because we're all in this together, okay? And so stay tuned for episode number 3, which will drop next Thursday. There's new videos on this channel every Thursday. So I would love for you to like, to comment, to subscribe, to share this video with someone that you think it would be helpful to. And I will see you next time. As always, always remember that you are loved, that you are enough, and stay inspired.